Morning, Ira.
Morning, Rabbi.
He's muted and not.
Morning.
Oh, here.
Well, let's see everybody bright and cheerful this morning. Good.
But Cameron's coming in.
It's a Monday. That's all you have to say is it's a Monday. All right, well, we'll get going. All those late people who are still sleeping can join us when they can. All right. Well, for those of us awake enough to be here, let's see what we can do. We're on page 6, as we always are, with Birkot HaShachar. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan l'sefli bina l'achim ben yom uben laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shesani b'tzalmo. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shesani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai melech haolam shesani ben chorim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish harumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rakaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shosali kol tzorki. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamechim et tzadei gaver. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael bigvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam onoten liya'ef koach. You may be seated. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Utnenu hayom v'chol yom l'chenu chesed rachamim beinecha uvenei choreinu v'tikmanu chasadim tovim. Baruch atah Adonai gomel chasadim tovim le'amo Yisrael. Page 7. Yehi ratzon mechonecha Adonai Elohim. Ashreinu matov chelkenu manarim goralenu mayafa Yerushatenu. Ashreinu shanachnu mashkimim u'ma'arivim erevav boker yomrim b'mayim bechol yom. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Atahu Ad Shalom Yivra. Kadesh et shimcha makdishei shemecha v'kadesh et shimcha le'olamecha v'shuarcha tarim v'tagbir karnenu. Baruch atah Adonai v'kadesh et shimcha ba'arabim. We are turning to page 9. You are welcome to study texts on your own. I've been trying to go through most of these going through from in order, and I don't even remember where I left off. But we're going to look at the last one on page 9, where we have Rabbi Yitzchak teaching us from Deuteronomy Rabbah. 2 things are in God's hands: the soul and justice. The soul, as it's written, and of course we have a proof text, and it comes from Job. In God's hand is every living soul. And justice, as it is written, my hand lays hold on judgment, coming from Deuteronomy. So 2 different proof verses, proof texts, that we have soul and justice in God's hands. And then it goes, says God, says the Holy One, you watch out for justice and I will watch over your souls. So those two things are together. God holds us. Our job is to work and watch out for Dean, which is justice, and God will take care of our souls and what we need to do spiritually. So it's a partnership with God. We talk about being partners with God. This is a lovely text from Deuteronomy Rabbah reminding us of that relationship. It's not just us making the world a better place, but God's role in helping us to do that. So we keep that in mind. On page 12, the second to last paragraph at the bottom of the page, our concluding meditation. Yehi ratzon milfanecha Adonai Eloheinu v'le'avotenu shetiten chelkenu b'toratecha v'nihi amitalmidav shel Aharon hakohen ohev shalom v'rodev shalom ohev et habriot u'mekarvan laTorah. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm only counting 8. So yes. So we turn to Kaddish de Rabbanan, page 13. We could do the last two lines together. Yehe Shlama Rabba Min Shemayim V'chayim Tovim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Ramav Hu B'Rachamav Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. We turn to page 14 for the 30th Psalm. Mizmor Shir Chanukah Bayit LeDavid Aramimcha Adonai Dilitani V'Losimachta V'Vali. Man Yizamercha Chavod V'Lo Yidom Adonai Lahai Le'olam Odeka. Once again, we'll find the last two lines of the Mourner's Kaddish this time. And you might ask, why can we do those two lines when we don't do the rest? Well, the rest really specifically talks about magnifying God. Those are the pieces like the Kedusha and the Amidah that we refrain from reciting unless we have a minyan to acknowledge and raise up God and God's connection to us. But the last two lines are more general and they are about peace. And those two lines certainly we can always recite. Yehe Shlama Rabba Min Shemayim V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Ramav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. We rise on page 16 for Baruch She'amar. Baruch She'amar v'haya ha'olam, Baruch Hu, Baruch Hashem Reshim, Baruch Omer Yosef, Baruch Gozer Mukayim, Baruch Merachem al ha'aretz, Baruch Merachem al ha'briot, Baruch Meshalem Sachar Tov l'Reyav, Baruch Ha'la'av V'kayam la'netzach, Baruch Podel Matzil, Baruch Shemo, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, Ha'el ha'varachman ha'malal b'fi amo, v'shubach ha'bar b'shem chesed b'shem. Yachichei ha'olamim, melech meshubach, ba'or de'at shemo ha'gadol, baruch atah Adonai melech me'olam, b'tish b'chot. You are welcome to be seated. We're on page 17. Hodu l'Adonai kiru v'shmo, hodu v'ha'am. Ki kol Elohei amimim eleilim v'Adonai shamayim asa. 18. Hod v'hadar l'fanav, oz v'chedva b'kamo. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtachavu l'hadam raglav kadoshu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtachavu l'har kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Page 19. V'hurachum yachaper avon v'lo yashchit v'hirba l'hashiva po v'lo yirko chamato. Adonai lo Adonai Tzavot Ashrei Adam Botech Bach Adonai Hoshia Melech Yaneinu Yom Koreinu Shia Et Amecha V'Rech Et Nachlatecha V'Menaseh Adonai. Vahani v'chastecha batachti ageli b'vishwatecha shir l'Adonai ki gamal alai. Page 20. Mizmor le'todah ri l'Adonai kol ha'aretz ivdu Adonai b'simcha et noam l'fanav b'nai. Ki tov Adonai le'olam chasto v'yador v'ador emunato yehi chavod Adonai le'olam yismach Adonai ma'asav. We're in the middle of 20. Vehurachum yuchaper avon v'lo yashchit vehirbala shiva po v'lo yair kol chamato Adonai Hoshia melech yaneinu v'yom koreinu. 21. Ashrei veitecha od yelalu chasela Ashrei ham shekachalo Ashrei ham shadonai Elohav tihila leDavid. Tehilat Adonai daber pivi varech basar shem kodesh le'olam va'ed v'anachnu varechya me'ata b'yad olam hallelujah hallelujah li nafshi et Adonai hallelujah. Adonai shomer kerim yatom yamana yodeh v'derech v'shayim yaved yimloch Adonai le'olam Elohech tzil v'dor hallelujah hallelujah ki tov zamra Elohim kina'im nabat tehila b'nei Yerushalayim. Magid Rav Liakov, Chukav Mishpatav Yisrael, Lo Asachin L'chol Goyim Mishpatim V'Yidaum. Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. Et Adonai min hashamayim, Hallelujah, B'amromim, Hallelujah, Kol Malach, Hallelujah, Kol Tzva'al, B'Shem Shvi'arech. Vayarem keren liamot hila l'chol chasidav lifnei Yisrael kirovo. Hallelujah. 25. Hallelujah. Shir l'Adonai shir chadash. Tihila tovu hachasidim yisrael Yisrael b'sav. Lehesor malchechem bizikim inikbedechem v'chavlei varzel la'asot b'hem mishpat katuv hadarhu l'chol chasidav. Hallelujah. Middle of 25. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Big push. Hallelujah. Big Hallelujah. hallelujah, 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 Urata, hallelujah, 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 take a shofar, hallelujah, hallelujah, and velvet nor, hallelujah, 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 Umacho, hallelujah, 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 Tole Shama, hallelujah, hallelujah, Tole Jeruah, Kol Haneshama, hallelujah, 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 Kol Haneshama, hallelujah, hallelujah, Kol Haneshama, hallelujah, hallelujah. Baruch Hananai Lam, Amen V'Amen. Baruch Hananai Mitzion Shochem Yerushalayim, Hallelujah. Baruch Hananai Elohim Elohei Yisrael, Seni V'Lo Levado. Uvaruch Shem Kvodo Li'Olam V'Yimalei Kvodo Et Kol Haaretz. Amen V'Amen. We rise, 26. Vayivarech David Adonai et Adonai Le'nei Kol HaKol V'Yomer David. Baruch Atah Adonai. Atahu Adonai Elohim Asher Bacharta B'Avram V'Hotzeta Me'ar Kastim V'Santa Shema Avraham U'Matzatu Et Levavaha Ne'eman Lefanecha V'Charat Imat Habrit V'Titet Eretz HaKnani. V'Hayam V'Kata Livneihem V'Yaru B'Toch Hayam V'Yabasha V'Yet Rodfeihem Yishlach Tabim Solot Kamo Even V'Mayim Mazim. 27. V'Yosha Adonai V'Yomayim Yisrael Yemers. V'Yar Yisrael Tayad Hagdola Asher Adonai B'Mitzrayim V'Yiru Hamet Adonai V'Yaminu Adonai U'Moshe Avdo Az Yashir Moshe U'Bnei Yisrael Et Hashira Hazod Adonai V'Yomru Le'mor Ashira L'Adonai Ki Ga'oga Sus V'Rach B'Rahama V'Yam Ozi V'Zimrat Yav V'Yehi L'Yeshua Zelivian Vehu Elohei Avivarim Amenhu Adonai Ish Milchama Adonai Shemo Markev Paro V'Chelo Yahara V'Yam V'Char Shalishatu V'Yamsu. Mi chamoch v'ayim Adonai mi chamoch nedar b'kodesh namrati lo sefelen atitiam. Suka alta. Adonai yimloch le'olam v'olet. Adonai yimloch le'olam v'olet. Ki l'Adonai umlocha Moshe b'goyim v'yalu Moshe b'har Tzion lishpot et haresav. V'hayta l'Adonai umlocha v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz. V'yom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. We're on page 29. Yishtabach Shimcha La'ad Malkinu El Melech HaGadol HaKadosh B'Shamayim U'Ba'aretz. Verachot v'hodot me'tav yad olam baruch atah Adonai el melech hadot v'tishbachot el hahodaot adon haniflaot habocher b'shirei zimra melech elchei haolam. We have a minyan, I believe. So we, I'm counting. We continue with Chatzi Kaddish on page 29. Yitkadal v'yitkadash merabah b'alma divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh v'chayechon v'yimechon v'chayidecha v'Yisrael ba'akala v'zman karihi v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabah mevorach le'olam ulamei olayam. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitrom v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudisha Brichu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiram yalma v'imru amen. Page 30, you'll find Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai hamevorach.
Baruch Adonai Avorach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Borach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Yotzer Or Uvarei Choshech Oseh Shalom Uvarei Et HaKol. You are welcome to be seated. We're in the bottom half of 30. El Baruch Gedol Daya Echinu Fa Zahar Echama Tov Yatzar Kavod Nishmo Meorot Natan Tzvivo Tuzo Pinot Tzvav Kedoshim Merom Meishadai Tamim Mesaprim Kevod El Ukdusha Toho El Baruch Gedol Daya Echinu Fa Zahar Echama Tov Yatzar Kavod Lishmo Meorot Natan Tzvivot Tuzo Meorot Natan Tzvivot Tuzo Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu al shevach ma'aseh yadecha v'yal me'orei or she'asita yirfaruhu chasela. We're on 31. Titbarach Zureinu Malkeinu V'Goreinu V'Borei Kadoshim Yishtabach Shimcha La'ad Malkeinu. Kulam mahuvim, kulam biruim, kulam giborim, v'chulam osim b'yema uviratzon kanam, v'chulam potchim epihem mikdusha v'tahara, v'shira v'zimram, v'arachim v'shabachim v'arim v'maritzim, v'makdishim v'mamlichim, et shem ha'el ha'melech ha'gadol, ha'gibor v'hanora kadoshu, v'chulam mikablim alehem al malchut shamayim zeh mizeh, Venotnim Rishut Zelazel Lahakdish Liyotzra Menachat Ruach Bisafa Viravinim Kadosha Kulam Kecharonim Yomrihim Vayir Kadosh 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 Adonai Tzevaot V'Haofanim V'Chayot HaKodesh B'Ra'ash Gadol Mitnasim Lumat Serafim Lumatam Mishabachim V'Omrihim Baruch Yevamot Adonai Mikol El Baruch Nimot Yiteinu Melchach Levakim. Or Chadash Al Tzion Tayir V'Niskech Ulana Mehera Le'Oro Baruch Atah Adonai Yotzer HaMe'orot. We're on 32. The bottom paragraph, we bring together the four corners of the talit as we conclude Ahava Rabbah. V'havienu l'shalom b'kanfot ha'aretz v'tolichenu kumimet li'artzeinu ki el poel yeshuot ata uvanu v'charta mikol am v'lashon v'keravtanu l'shimcha hagadol sela be'amet lehodot lecha yachidcha b'ahava baruch ata Adonai Abocher b'yamo Yisrael be'ahava. 33. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Elam B'Hen Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך ובך ובלכתך ובדרך ובשוכבך ובחומך ובשרת מאוד בידך והיו לטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם בזאת ביתך ובשעריך. We continue the middle of 33 silently. All confebi de hemador tam benatnu titi. Kana betel de chenak ve'ayam lachem letiti. What's going to happen? I'm sitting down. Leman tishkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kadoshim le'Elochem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem amen. Even upon the Kayam Yashar. Ledor Vador, Hukayam Ushmo, Kayam, Vachisona, Hunumachuto, Viamunato, Laad, Kayam, Urav Kayim, Vikayami, Menemana, Menem, Emet Shata Hudanai Elohim Elohim Malkenu Melech Avotenu Goalenu Goel Avotenu Yotzreinu Tzor Yeshua Tenu Potenu Matzilenu Melam Shemecha En Elohim Zulatecha Efrat Avotenu Atahu Meolam Maginu Mashiach Vador. Also, Chivachu Ahuvim Vermamu. Tehillah Elohim Baruchu Umavarach Moshe B'nai Yisrael Chanu Shira B'Simcha Rabbah V'Yamru Chulam Michamocha Elim Adonai Michamocha Nidar B'Kodesh Norati Loto Sefer Shira Chadasha Shibchu Gilim L'Shivchad Asfat Hayam Yachad Kulam Hodu V'Him Lichu Be'Yamru Adonai Sor Yisrael, Kumav Yisrat Yisrael, Uvdechinu Mecha Yehuda Yisrael, Go Aleinu Adonai Tzavot Shemo Kadosh Yisrael, Baruch Atah Adonai Gal Yisrael. We continue on page 36b as we rise for the Amidah as we begin together again 36b. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka
Elohe Rachel ve'Elohe Leah.
El Hagadol
Hagadol
Hagibor
Hagibor
Hanora
Hanora,
El
Elion.
El Chasadim Tzuvim Yikonei HaKol Sofer Chasdei Avot Mevi Goel B'neihem Leman Shalom V'Ahava Melech Hoser Moshiach
Magen.
Baruch
Adonai. Magen Abraham ובוחר שרה.
Tzagibor Delam Adonai
מחיים מתים אתה רק תושיע.
Morid
אתה
Mechalkel Chaim
חיים
B'Chesed
בחסד.
Mechayem
מחיים מתים ברחמים רבים.
Somech Nofim V'Rofechot V'Matzir
ומציר
Asurim
אסורים.
Umekayem Emunato Lishnei
לפני
Akbar
עפר.
Michamocha Bal
גבורות
Gibran
ומימי
Melech Mevi Mashiach
מצמיח ישוע.
V'ne'eman Ata L'Chayot Metim Baruch Ata Adonai
מחיי המתים.
כדי שסוכם בעולם, כשם שנשארתו בשמי קרום, ככתוב הגן אביך בכל זה הזה ואמר.
נקדש את שמך בעולם כשם שמרתי שמותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב ביד נביאך וכרזל זה ויאמר.
קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות.
קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלוך כל הארץ כבודו למתם ברוך יאמרו.
ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו.
ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו דברי קודשך כתוב לאמור.
ימלוך אדוני
לעולם אלוהי ציון לדור ודור הללויה.
ימלוך אדוני לעולם אלוהי ציון לדור ודור הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך ונצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש. בשבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. כי המלך קדוש וקדוש אתה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Greatest knowledge and wisdom and discernment, praise you, Lord. Gracious advances intelligence. Return us our teacher to your foot. To us near us out to your service. Praise you, Lord, and all your welcome for repentance. Forgive us our God, for we have sinned. Pardon us, our Lord, for we have transgressed. You forgive and pardon. Praise you, Lord, and all your gracious and forgiving. Behold our adversity and deliver us. Redeem us soon with us for mercy. You are a mighty Redeemer. A Redeemer of the people. Hear us that time we shall be healed. Help us to save us to our brother. You persecute for all our afflictions. Be your will. We heal my body and soul. Wash it down until you. Let us rest perfect. And strengthen those who turn to your faithful mercy. As you are. I'm not attacking the birth. It's very close. We still rain for blessing upon you. As far as bits of promise. Bless our Lord. Faith and love.
Go find Tachanun beginning on 59. Ozreinu Eloheinu al davar kavod shemecha v'hatzilenu v'chaper al chatotinu lema'an shemecha. All right, is Joel there? Because he's Armenian. There he is. We have 64. You'll find Chatzi Kaddish. Yitgadol v'yitkadash shemei Rabba b'yamad b'achidu tei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayidecho v'Yisrael b'agalav v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba v'yorach le'machol me'ol ma'yah. Yitbarach v'yishtabach yitbar v'yishma minaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yital shmei dekudisha Elamim kol berchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata damiran v'alma v'imru
Amen.
El erech hapayim v'rav chesed v'yemed al taster panecha mimenu chusa Adonai al Yisrael amecha v'hatzilenu mikol ra chatanu lecha Adon slachna kerov rachamecha el. We turn over to page 65 again, as we've been doing. So we study a little bit Torah virtually. We can always add our 2 lines at the top, the last 2 lines of the top paragraph, rather, as we acknowledge that Torah comes out from Zion, that God gave us that preciousness of the Torah, adds to our holiness each day. Ki mitzion teitzei Torah, ki mitzion teitzei Torah, u'devar Adonai b'Yerushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Le'amo Yisrael, you are welcome to be seated if you are standing. We turn to page 303. There you will find summary, or the first 3 aliyot, anyway, the first section of Shabbat, Parshat Balak, rather. Balak is usually, as I was about to say, on Shabbat, is combined with Chukat. This year, it was separated as just the way the calendar works. And so we get a chance this week to study it in its entirety as its own parashah. Very often we kind of skip over it, or we have to do it in conjunction with another parashah, so it loses its emphasis a little bit. So here we get to look at this fascinating story. You may remember Balak, who's the king of Moab. He sends for a diviner, who of course his name is Balaam, and he asked him to curse the Israelites so that Moab may drive them off. So he's asking for this curse, and Balaam refuses as God orders, and Balak then offers more gold, and so Balaam goes out and says, okay, sure. And yet, just as his ass sees what Balaam cannot, right? There's a wonderful story of a talking donkey, basically. The donkey stops and sees God's angel standing in the way of Balaam, and then perceives his folly, atones, and proceeds as God's messenger does Balaam. So Balaam has this encounter with God's angel atop a donkey, and in essence, he's told to curse Israel. But of course, in the end, this is where our famous words "Ma tovu" come from. He ends up saying, "Ma tovu olecha Yaakov," how lovely are your dwellings, you people of Jacob. He gives a blessing to the people instead of a curse. Balak, of course, is mad at Balaam, and Balaam puts a curse on Moab instead, and Israel. Then at the end of this, it's as an add-on, Israel is seduced by Midianites, indulges in harlotry and idolatry. So if we stick with the first section of our story, it's a lot more interesting than the last section where we're talking about harlotry and idolatry. So this first section that we read from on the weekday is, again, talking about Balak and how he sends messengers to Balaam. So it's the heart of this wonderful story with basically a very smart donkey and a not so smart diviner, if you will. So we're on page 303. Vayar Balak ben Sipor et kol asher asa Yisrael Amori v'yagor Moab mipnei ha'am me'od ki rabhu Vayakotz Moab mipnei bnei Yisrael. Vayomer Moab el ziknei Midyan. Ata yilachachu hakahal et kol tzivivotenu kilchon hashur et yerek hasadeh. Uvalach ben Sipor melech lemoab ba'etahi. So here we get to the part where the Malachim come, right? El Bilam, here comes the lovely little angel to get in the way. And again, our story continues interestingly with this wonderful donkey. So we're in the middle of page 303. Vayishlach malachim el Bilam ben Beor Petorah asher al hanahar eretz bnei Amalek lo lemor hine am yatsa mimitzrayim hine chisa et ein haaretz v'hu yoshev mimuli ve'ata lechona Arali etam hazeh ki atzum hu mimeni ulai uchal nakebo va'agarashenu min haaretz ki adati et asher tivarech levarach va'asher ta'or you are va'yehelchu ziknei Moab l'ziknei Minyan uksamim beyadam Vayavo el Bil'am vayidabru elav divrei balak. And for our third aliyah, verse 8. So here we get the message, right? So that the elders of Moab and the elders of Minyan, they're talking about how they're set with this divination, and they come to Balaam and they gave him Balak's message, and he says, okay, stay here. And they stayed with Balaam, and God comes to Balaam and says, what do they want? What's going on here? And this is kind of where it all goes awry for Balaam. Do not go with them. You can't curse the people. This is not going to happen. And then it's after this, that's where the lovely little interchange with the donkey and all that comes following this. So anyway, this is a very interesting piece of text in terms of how Balaam is directed by God and what he needs to do. We're on the bottom of 303. Vayomer alehem linu fo halayla v'hashivoti etchem b'davar kasher daber Adonai elai vayeshvu sarei Moab im Bil'am vayavo Elohim el Bil'am vayomer mi hanashim ha'ele imach Vayomer Bilam el ha-Elohim Balak ben Sipor melech Moab shalach elai Hinei ha'am ha'yotzeh mimitzrayim vayechas et ein ha'aretz ata lechak v'li oto ulai uchal ilachem bo v'gerashtiv Vayomer Elohim el Bilam lo telech imahem Lo ta'or et ha'am ki baruch hu. So that is our wonderful story. We have the rest of the week to study it a little bit, and encourage you, if you have a chance, to find a chumash and read forward, and you can read a little bit more about the rest of the story, which again is if you get to the verse 22, that's where you get to the story with the donkey and talking donkeys. It's a fun story, but one that we really realize that when we try to do cursing, hopefully it will only come out as blessing, that we need to focus on the good, not the bad. That's an important piece. We're going to go back in our Siddur to page 69, and there we will find a Mishra Baruch for those who are ill, which we'll add today to our tefillah. Misha Baruch Avotinu Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel Leah V'hu Yirarech Mirapeh Kol HaCholim Avashira Bat Chana Leah Adam Ben Sarah Elisha Bat Savora Elisa Bat Masha Miera Ariel David Ben Sarah Bachman Yehoshua ben Chanabatya, Bela bat Sura, Baruch Me'er Chaim ben Leah, Bat Leah bat Esther, Bela bat Shira, Bela bat Malka, Bea bat Rivka, Beowulf ben Esther, Binyamin ben Chana, Bracha bat Shena, Bracha Yael bat Malka Esther, Chaim ben Bela, Chaim Shmuel ben Leah Yocheved, Chana bat Rud, Chana bat Yehuda, Charna Ita bat Miriam, Chaya bat Mina, Daniel ben Sarah, David Chaim ben Yitzipora, Eitan ben Dina, Elisheva bat Devora, Esther Rivka bat Devora, Fego Esther bat Rachel, Fegi Riva bat Basha, Feivel ben Rachel, Friedel bat Moshe, Hadassah bat Realeah, Hannah Sarah bat Basha, Hinda bat Chava, Leah Rivka bat Miriam, Leva Devorah bat Miriam, Malachi ben Sarah, Malka Sima bat Elka, Malka bat Sarah, Malki bat Zev, Masha ben Zizbat Mitzisa Morel, Me'er Leah bat Zipporah, Miriam bat Bela, Miriam bat Bracha, Moshe ben Yeta, Moshe ben Israel bat Chana, bat Chaya, Moshe Katzriel ben Chana, Nachem ben Tovia, Nachoma bat Yaakov, Noah ben Dina, Pinchas Velva ben Leah, Rachel bat Devorah, Raphael ben Wolf, Refuel Meir ben Nachama, Ruvain ben Peretz, Ruvain Shmuel ben Sarah, Ruvain Simcha ben Miral, Rivka Rachel bat Esther Rezo, Rivka bat Rosa, Shimon ben Chana, Shlomo ben Lazer, Shmuel Chaim ben Yakova, Shoshana bat Michal, Shoshana bat Peril, Tova bat Sarah, Tzipporah bat Michal, Yaakov ben Nechama, Yedid ben Gittel, Yehudit Ruth bat Sarah, Yehudit Golda bat Elka, Yisrael ben Sarah, Yoel ben Yosef, Yosef ben Abraham Basara, Yosef ben Abraham Fishel Halevi, Zev Shaul ben Chaya, Sylvia Miriam Abigail Bacha, Alan Goldberg, Amber France, Anne Francis, Anna Silver, Arnold Garlick, Avram Glasner, Bob Reynolds, Bob Schiffman, Bob Stewart, Carolyn Devon, David Siegel, Don Alexander, Debbie Danforth, Donna Link Strickland, Les Feldman, Elaine Marin, Elaine Munoz, Elna King, Mester McGear, Gabriel Joseph Braun, Garney Griggs, Gary Rosenthal, George Geisen, Gerald Karsman, Ginger Middleman Sledge, Gregory Seelig, Grover Shockley, Howard Aaron, Iris Pacone, Jackie Geisen, Jeanette Cobb, Joey Halfant, Joseph Cohn, Judy Stewart, Kimberly Lang, Lily Williams, Louis Navis, Luann Horn, Maria Beck, Marion Braun, Mark Hermelin, Mia Castro, Michael Hardy, Monty Arthur Elliott, Nehemiah Levin, Patsy Friedler Cantor, Patty Pillay, Renee Hunoso Jr., Ruben Klein, Robert Cover, Robert Teplitz, Simon Lebo, Rosario Vasquez, Sarah Purcell, Sarah Ibarra, Sharon Avalo, Sharon Bowling, Sharon Hermelin, Stephen Schnitzer, Stephen Cohen, Tristan France, Ryan Rollo. Are there any names to add? Please keep them in your thoughts at this moment. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim Alahem Lachizikam L'Rapotam V'Yishlach Lahem Mehera Refuah Shlema Min Hashamayim Refuat HaNefesh Refuat HaGuf B'toch Sha'ar Cholei Yisrael V'Hizek Et Yedei Haoskim B'Tzorcheihem Hashtaba Agalav Bizman Kariv V'Nomar
Amen.
Refuah Shlema to all those in need of healing.
Amen.
We turn over to page 76 as we're going to conclude our Torah service. Actually 77. We'll find the last lines of Eitz Chaim as we join together. 77. Eitz Chaim hi lemachzikim ba v'tom te'ameh We turn over to page 78 as we go into the concluding part of our service. Tehillat Adonai daber pi v'vorech kol basar shem kodsho le'olam v'hed v'anachnu nevarech yamei avtav yad olam. Hallelujah. Laminatseach means more than David. Bottom of 79. Young fun. Hey, Makaru v'nafalu v'anach kamnu mi'nit odad Adonai Yoshia melech yaneinu v'yom koreinu. Page 80. Uvalatzion goel ushaf v'shal b'Yaakov nu'manai. Kadosh Yeshivti on Yisrael Karzel Zev Yamar Kadosh 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 Adonai Tzavot Melech Haaretz Kevodo. Vayivtichu v'chayodei shemecha ki lo azavta dorshecha Adonai Adonai chafetz l'mansiko yagdil Torah v'yadir. Yep, still have a minion. So good. You'll find Kaddish Shalem on 82. Yitzgadel v'yikadash shemit rabba v'yamad yivrach v'yamlich malchutei v'chayichon v'yimechon v'chayim v'chol Yisrael ba'agala v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yeheshmei rabba v'vorach v'yalam v'lomei olmaya Yitmarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitma minaseh v'yitadar v'yitala v'yitala shmei d'kudisha Lamin kobrachata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran b'yama v'imru amen. L'itgabal tzolotanu v'uton decho Yisrael kol dama v'hundi v'shmaya v'imru amen. Yesh lama rabba mishmaya v'chayim alenu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mrama v'uyaseh shalom alenu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru amen. We're on 83 as we rise for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shavei Adonai l'teit Bereshit Shalom tzanu k'goyei ha'arasot v'lo samanu b'mishpat ha'adama shelo samtenu b'hem v'gor aleinu b'kol ha'olam אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא בעוזרת השמיים. Kakatu b'toratech Adonai yimlach le'olam va'ed v'hayim Adonai melech kol haaretz Hayomahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo You are welcome to be seated. If you wish, you'll find Kaddish Tome, our first of two, page 84. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Amen. Yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon Yomechom, Uchaye, the whole Beit Yisrael, Allah, Karim, Amen.
Amen.
Yehi Shmei Rabba Barach Leolam Olamei Olmaya. Yitbarach, Yishtabach, Yitpa'ar, Yitramam, Yitnaseh. V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitallah, v'yinei kudisha,
Rechu.
la'ela, mikol yirchata, v'shirata, tushbechata, v'nefeshata, damiran, v'yalma, v'yimru, amen.
Amen.
Yehi Mama Rabba Min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu, v'yalkol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen.
Amen.
Shalom b'mrama, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu, v'yalkol Yisrael, v'yimru,
Amen.
be seated if you wish. You'll find the psalm for Monday on 86. Hayom Yom Sheni B'Shabbat Shebo Hayu Halvim Omrihim B'Veit Hamikdash Shir Mizmor Livnei Korach. Yizeh Elohim Eloheinu Olam Va'ed Hu Yinachagenu Ahalmut. You'll find Kaddish Tome once again back on 84, forward on 100. As we recite Kaddish today, we continue to extend our hugs of support and condolences to Rabbi Aryeh Scheinberg's family, to the entire Scheinberg family, and to Rodef Shalom, their community as well, and to all of us who are mourning the loss of a pillar in our community for the last 50 years. We also keep in our thoughts and extend our condolences to Lauren Abraham on the death of her mother, Beverly Selasky, and extend our condolences to Rabbi Jeffrey and Lauren as they go through this difficult period of time together. We also mention the names of those whose yahrzeit, who's continuing through the Shloshim. Continuing is Arthur Hartstein, father of Bonnie Hartstein. We continue to remember Dorothy Rebecca Liu, mother of David Greenberg, and Lindsay Demeshki, daughter of Karen Young. The other yahrzeits for this week, I have the full list rather than the breakdown, so I'll read all of them as we recite Kaddish. We keep all of them in our minds today for this week. Rose Adler, Rosemary Altfas, Rebecca Allweiss, Anna Asarch, Mary Gates, Nathan Goldberg, Irene Goldenberg, Hannah Grinchman, Sarah Lee Garinsky, Maxine Hyman, Jenny Krakow, Joseph Lehrman, Consuelo Moskov, Arthur O'Krent, Sam Penner, Jenny Pines, Frida Regenbaum, Barbara Rutstein, Irving Saltzman, Aaron Schnitzer, Diane Schwartz, Harvey Stahl, Diane Stern, Samuel Stiles, Pauline Teplitz, Abe Tobias, Lily Trachtenbroy, Howard Weinberg, and Bella Weinstein-Taylor. We remember all of those, and those anyone is remembering today, we keep them all in our thoughts. You'll find Kaddish Tome on 84 or 100. Yit Gadal, V'yit Kadash, Shemei Rabba, V'yamam, V'yirah, V'yamlich Malchutei, V'chayechon, V'yamam, V'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, V'agalah, V'yidon, Amen.
Amen.
Shmei Rabba Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitramam, V'yitnaseh, Yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitpa'ar, Le'ela, Mikol Birchata, V'shirata, Tushbechata, V'nechata, Za'amiran, V'yalmam, V'yimru, Amen.
Amen.
Shlama Rabba, V'yim Aleinu, V'yalkol Yisrael, V'yimru, Amen. Oseh, Shalom B'Rama, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu, V'yalkol Yisrael, V'yimru, Amen. Good morning to everyone. Boker Tov. Thanks for helping the Minyan. Have a wonderful day and week.
Morning, Ronnie.
Good morning, Bruce. You woke up.
You're right.
You need more coffee, Mr. Bruce.
I'm going to get some more.
Yeah, don't put anything in it, just coffee. All right, have a great day, everybody. Bye. Bye, Ira. Bye, John Boy. Bye.